All right, we're on. We're live. Who's here with me today? It's still a little early, so I'm kind of thinking that we're going to have some people in. I want to make sure that we're recording. It says we're live. I hope we are recording because we're on YouTube. Anyway, this is Lynn Williams on week 2 of our Keys to Manifesting mini-series. Last week we talked about starting to work with telling your new story and what that energy was all about, and the things that you need to do to start telling your new story. And this week we're going to talk a little bit about self-confidence, because it's critical to get that self-confidence energy up. If you're going to be able to make something happen, you got to believe in yourself and you got to believe it. So we're just going to spend some time just kind of talking a little bit here while we get going. Hopefully everybody can see me, and I trust that you can. If not, then come back in and let's see what's going on here. Wanting to make sure my camera's on. Anyway, I think we're good to go. I'm going to keep an eye out on, if you can hear me, I'm going to keep an eye out on our Facebook page for a minute to make sure that everybody is able to get on or able to see me. So if you are not able to see me or you can't get on, please post a message on the group page, send me a message on Facebook. This is one of the ways that we are going to have to chat for a while, because I'm not really sure if the Google Hangout software will let us talk back and forth. I've seen people do it both ways. I've seen people do it by chatting on Google with people, with the hosts, and I've seen people do it by chatting in a Facebook group. So in this, for safety's sake, I did post the links for how to get in, either by watching on YouTube or by watching it live on Google+. So whatever your software, tablet, phone, or anything, whatever it does for you, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on the Facebook page for a minute just to see what's going on. But I want to really get started because I don't want to take too long. So just to make sure that we don't end up running really late, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's about 5:35 now. So I see I have one viewer here, but I don't really see anybody in the room but me yet. So if you're there, maybe you're on YouTube. Anyway, let's get going just so that we can get things running and I don't have to worry about running over time. Like I said, if you can hear me or you can't hear me or whatever the case may be, send me a message on Facebook, and that way we'll make sure we're online. It says we're live, and I'm trusting that we're going to go. But it's very possible that it's something I'm not doing, because this, I'm not, I won't say I'm YouTube or Google Plus savvy. All right, okay. Anyway, here we go. This is week 2, and week 2 we are talking about self-confidence. And mostly what we're going to do this time is I'm going to go over a little bit of what we talked about last week, and then I'm going to get into this week's topic, and then we'll do our tapping, because that's the essential energy shifter modality or technique that we use. It's very effective, as some of you who've been practicing with last week's tapping have already come to know. So let's just go ahead and do that. First thing I want to ask you, even if you're just watching the recording, is how you doing? How's it going? Are you using the techniques? Are you experimenting with it? Are you playing with your words and being mindful of what you speak? Because that's all about, that's the crux, the foundation of what we're doing. And if you really want to shift your energy, increase your self-confidence, make things change, you got to change the behaviors and the practices that you've been doing. Remember that quote that I posted last week. Albert Einstein said that a problem cannot be solved with the same mindset that created it, and that is so absolutely true. I cannot impress upon you how true that is. So if you've been following the program and doing the tapping and doing it, the most effective way to do it is 6 days a week, but if you're only finding yourself doing it a couple of times a week, that's better than nothing. See if you can increase your frequency so that you really get the maximum benefit from all this stuff that we're doing. It's only a mini series. It's not the full-blown study program, but it's effective yet and still. And remember, we all got together to do this because we wanted to be more successful in DS Domination. We wanted to define our own progress path, our own rate of growth, our own presence, and have success on our own terms, not based on the skyrocketers who are out there making it happen, because they've already gone through their growth and already established themselves. In some cases, some of them have not been through the trials and tribulations that we have, so they're not affected in the same way. So remember, this is about changing your energy and your behaviors and getting to a point of believing in yourself so that you can listen to what they're saying and what's happening with them and not be intimidated by it. So I want to ask you too, are you noticing any shifts or any movement in your energy? And I know some of you have been, because you've been posting about it. Shifts in your energy could be feeling better, feeling worse, feeling anxious, feeling agitated, having, even to the point of maybe having like headaches, the kind of dizzy headaches where your head's a little spinning. That's energy shifting. That's why I gave you the tapping sequences for comfort and for receiving and being open. Anything you can do to not only get that energy moving, but to process it and get it going through you and out is what you want to do. Be aware of things that are showing up in your lives that are examples of energy shifting, like unexpected people showing up, resources. Maybe you've been asking for a certain partner or a certain gift or a certain door to be open, and people are showing up. Doors are opening. You want a certain teacher or a certain thing to happen, and boom, somebody calls you on the phone or makes a reference, or you see an ad or hear about it. Okay, those are issues or indications that energy is shifting. If you're feeling lighter or better, or maybe you're not taking certain medications that you've been taking, are you sleeping better? Maybe you have more patience. Maybe your family's not getting on your nerves like they used to. All of those are indications that things are shifting. Some of you may also be noticing relationships with people are improving. Like I just said, maybe your kids and your family, your husband or wife is not bugging you so much. Maybe you're getting along better with co-workers, and they're just, you're seeing and feeling easier in your own skin. Whatever the case, take notice for now, and then take notes, and make sure that you keep I wanted to mention, I forgot to mention last week, journaling. I want to make sure that you keep a journal of a sorts, because the journal will help you to document your progress, to kind of take note of where you are, to observe your feelings, and more importantly, when you're a few weeks down the road, if you hit a wall or something seems to be going sideways, you can go back, read your journal, and see how far you've come. You'll be surprised how much progress you'll make in just a few weeks, and journaling is a way of keeping tabs on that. It will also help to reveal insights that pop up that you may not be aware of. Take note of your dreams. So I'll talk about the journal a little bit more in further on, but I just wanted to mention that you should be doing that, and I apologize for not mentioning it last week, because it's something you really need to do. I know some of you are journalers and some of you are not, and even if you're not, try to keep one now for the next few weeks. It's just for the purpose of being able to know where you are, what's going on, and being able to work with that. Now, last week we talked about watching your words. First of all, exchanging your words and being aware of what they are and how they create your reality, how they create the experiences you're having now, and more importantly, the ones you're going to have in the future. We talked about your behaviors and your actions, about making you more aware of how you draw things and experiences to you through your vibrational energies and belief systems. We talked about the emotional guidance system, how to shift your energy from some of the lower level energies like depression and fear and anger and resentment, how to work those energies up the emotional scale so that you can get into the positive creative energies of contentment and joy and love and appreciation and things like that. We started experimenting with affirmations and visualizations. At least you should have, if you took note of the homework that I gave you. You will notice in the that homework assignment, that page, there's a lot. It seems like a lot, but it's really something that you will use throughout the whole series. It's not like you're going to get a whole bunch of new stuff every week. But more importantly, it contains some affirmations and some practices that I would like you to use, because this will help to start shifting the energy and putting out creative powers, and helping you to learn to use them correctly to create what you want, instead of all the drama and trauma that you've been getting. So make sure that you look into the homework assignment page and start using it. And that homework page is called, it's the let's see, what's the name of it? The EGS system, EGS, Inner Energy Daily Practices and EFT Sequences. You will find it on our Facebook page, the group page, up in the Files section. Up in the right-hand corner, it says Files. There's a little link. If you click on it, there's a lot of stuff in there. And you really need to look at it, because there's a lot more in there than I have talked about so far. And that's where all your tools and practices and templates will be. And some of those visualizations are the ones I talked about last week, about how to energize your affirmations and your visions, and start to create them by working with activating ideas after 27 seconds and 62 seconds, I believe it was, and then 2 minutes, doing all of that work so that you can create more effectively. Also, the EFT tapping sequences I gave you are to start bringing happiness in and to start removing the stuckness that you've been dealing with, okay? As I mentioned, it looks like a bunch of homework. It really isn't that much. And it was the first week, so I really just wanted you to start looking it over, and we'll work on different things, different parts of it as we go through this process. Now, the good news is there's no new homework for this week. Not really. There's a couple of more things I want you to do, but there's nothing more except to continue to work with what I gave you and to get deeper into using it. I want to make sure that you continue to review your word exchange list and review the emotional guidance system chart that I just spoke about, and start really seriously working and focusing on raising your emotional frequencies. They are so key to changing what's going on in your life now, to getting things going, to rebuilding, to recreating, and getting past all this stuff. Because I'm telling you, and I'm the living witness. And if you don't believe me, you can go back on my YouTube channel. Some of you have subscribed, but the other videos are there, and some of them are from a couple of years ago when I was just emerging out of the darkness. And you can see my energy level then. Well, I was way better than I had been, but nothing like what I am now. And so you can see and measure my progress based on what I've used and done with these processes, and how it's gotten me to where I am now. It's not saying everything's perfect. It is far from it. I still got a lot of creating to do, but the energy level, my attitude, even the look on my face is like night and day. You can tell the difference. So I'm living proof that what I'm sharing with you actually works. So all we're going to do from week to week, pretty much from now on, is to work on what I've given you and expand on it. So now, I didn't get a chance to go over the words, lists, and affirmations last week. I gave them to you, but I kind of ran out of time. I didn't want to run too long, so I just kind of breezed over it. But I hope you had time to look them over. And since the words you use are so important in your life, your everyday life, and certainly about your future, and it's the basis for everything you do and everything we are doing, I want to go over this list a little bit and talk about some of the words and the reasons why you should use them instead of the others. So let's review the word exchange list. Now, I was one of the ones who was very guilty of using some of these other words, some of the words you shouldn't use, until someone brought it to my attention. It was a mentor I was working with, a counselor. I just didn't realize. In fact, I was very unconscious about some of the words I used, and that's why I was creating and recreating so much of the drama. It wasn't like I wasn't wanting things to be better, but let me put it to you like this way. If you're a religious person, or even if you're not, you hear or have heard a lot about people casting spells, and for the most part, we think of that as a negative. Okay, what we don't realize is that we are constantly casting spells with every word we speak. Everything comes out of our mouths, every thought has energy. And if you take nothing else away from this session, just believe and know that that energy goes out into the universe, connects with the law of attraction and the 6 other universal laws that I spoke about, and starts to bring stuff to you based on what you've spoken into the law. That's nothing more than a spell. The only difference is we are doing it unconsciously or subconsciously, and we're speaking our stuff, and some of it's positive and some of it's negative. Now, what we consider witches, and people who work dark spells, and I don't want to offend anyone who is a witch by practice of the pagan, faith or belief. So don't go there and become offended by the fact that I'm using the term witches or what have you. It's not intended that way. What I'm trying to say that is based on the popular and accepted definition of witches who cast spells to do harm or to control and manipulate people. All they're doing is chanting and speaking words that have power, that have certain meaning, that create certain energies, and because of the passionate belief and the energy behind these words, it makes things happen. But we as human beings, everyday living people, do the very same thing. It's just that we don't call it such. But if you look at the word spelling, basically it's using some letters, putting them together to create a word that conveys an idea, an energy. And so when we speak our word, whether it's for the purpose of doing something to someone or for someone, it's the same thing, except that we're doing it to ourselves, for ourselves in our own lives. So get clear on the fact that every time you open your mouth and say a prayer, you are in effect casting a spell. So now that we've, brought it out in the open and called a spade, maybe you'll learn to be more conscious of the words you speak, so that when you do speak your spells into the universe, and you need to get comfortable with understanding that, because that's what you're doing. And that's one of the reasons why we bring and create so much trauma, because we don't know what we're doing. But now that I've explained it to you, you can perhaps be a little more conscious. And this is the reason why it's so important. With just these few words I've given you, you will become a much more positive creator. And there are many others that need to be changed or watched, swapped out of your vocabulary. But for the purposes of what we're doing now, let's just watch and work with these, because these are some of the most powerful. The first one is remembering the words, the power of the words I am. The I am presence is another way of referring to God, the universe, spirit, creator, whatever you call it, the divine supreme being, whatever. The I am presence is the most powerful words you can speak, because if you think about it and know and understand its power, you will understand what Joel Osteen said, and that is, he said, whatever words you speak after the words I am will follow you. And think of how many times we say things like I'm tired, and we use the contraction I'm, but it's still I am. You are stating a fact of your condition, of your beingness. And so you say I'm tired, I'm angry, I'm hopeless, I'm stupid, I'm this. You are pouring so much negative energy into your expression and your beingness that you will eventually feel that. But if you're saying I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm powerful, I'm creative, I'm excited, I'm energetic, I'm passionate, think of how that energy feels just from what I've said right now. So be careful of whatever words you put behind the words I am, because they will follow you and you will eventually become that expression. Using the word create instead of the word work. Work has a negative connotation to it. It tends to tell us something is hard, it's drudgery, it's effort, it's what we don't want to do. But when we speak of creating, it's something positive, energetic, and exciting. And no matter whether you're working on a job or working at home or working on your dreams, you are creating. Everything you do at work is a manifestation of thoughts, of behaviors, of techniques and attitudes, processes to create an outcome. So when you talk about creating in your lives, instead of, you can easily start saying, instead of working, I'm creating. Instead of going to work, I'm going to create, because that is what you're doing. But the energy is so much lighter, more joyful and exciting that when you use these words, you can automatically begin to become a more powerful manifester because of the energy of the word you spoke versus the energy of the words you used to speak, okay? Then there's the word, and this was really a good one, is the word thrive instead of the word survive. So often you ask someone, how are you doing? Oh, I'm surviving. I'm just making it. Oh, it's so. Oh, all those, oh, and the energy of the moaning and groaning that goes on with that. But if someone says, and I don't care how bad things are, if they say, how are you doing? I'm thriving. Even if your lights are about to be turned off, or maybe they've been turned off, or you are up against the wall because you don't have the money coming in, the very word of saying I'm thriving energizes you and dictates, makes it a necessity that you come out of that lack and limitation mode and into a mode of growth and expansion and prosperity. When you say you're surviving, which is just barely making it, I mean, it's one thing to be in a situation where you've survived a life-threatening injury or situation, and you say, I survived the tornado, I survived, the tidal wave or whatever, that's different because, life-threatening situations are very real. But when you talk about surviving because you're barely making it in your day-to-day life, that's the energy you want to shift. So you want to use words appropriately, where they apply. In your everyday lives, no matter how bad it is, you don't ever want to say I'm surviving, because that's telling the universe I'm just barely making it and it's okay with me because I'm speaking that word. But if you say I'm thriving, eventually by using it often enough, the universe says you are thriving and growing, and eventually you will start to see the evidence of the energy shifting around you, and before you know it, you are really seeing the manifestation of thriving, expanding, growing experiences and appearances around you. It really will help you get going. Then there's the word eager versus anxious. This word was something I used to say. I'm anxious to see things happen. I'm anxious to experience this. This friend of mine who is a writer told me one time, she said, stop saying the word anxious. That infers anxiety, fear, stress, tension, and resistance. And I went, oh, you're right. So instead of the word anxious, she told me, use the word eager. It still says I'm excited, I'm anticipating, I'm looking forward, but it's an easier energy that conveys the power of anticipation, of looking forward to something that's delightful, exciting, acceptable, and joyful. Okay, so we want to watch that. Then there's the word experiencing instead of struggling. When we say struggling, that again is like surviving. It's hard, it's difficult. I'm barely holding on by the fingernails, by the skin of my teeth. It's difficult. I'm working on, it's painful. But when you say experiencing, it conveys the energy of something I'm moving through. Got something going on, but I'm experiencing it. Experiences say something is temporary, something that's moving through you, something you're going through or dealing with, but that's going to come to an end. Whether it's a positive or a negative experience, doesn't matter. The experience is in transition and you are going through it, virtually unscathed. It's the experience. And sometimes our experiences are really exciting and positive and thrilling, and other times not so much. But it's just the fact that by speaking these certain words, the energy you convey and attach to the event is different. Then there are the words choose or desire versus the word I want. Want, even though there are times we use it, and I'm not saying to eliminate it totally, but it's to be mindful of where you do use it. When you can say, I want something different, I want something better, I want more money, what have you, I want this to end. The whole point is the word want tends to infer something's lacking, missing, that there's more that you need, that it's also an energy of something lacking and limitation and scarcity. But if you say I choose or I desire, desiring something is wanting, but desiring is also a positive energy of passion, something that makes you feel good. I desire more money. I desire new experiences. I desire new love. I desire a new car. Desire makes us fat. Desire infers passion, So desire or choosing are much more appropriate. Choosing says it's something you're voluntarily looking for, voluntarily wanting or desiring, voluntarily choosing to experience. It's something you are giving your permission to, not something that's being imposed on you. Then there's I believe or I am confident, as opposed to I think or I guess. Now, the reason why you want to use these is because they infer or establish power and control. You say, I believe something is happening, or I believe I can do it, or I'm confident I can do it. I'm confident that this is happening. That says, yeah, I know it. It will. And I'm confident and believe and know it is so. Whereas if you say, I think or I guess, think is like, well, maybe. And I guess, well, that's questionable. Perhaps not. So it leaves room for doubt. And that weakens your intention and purpose. Then there's the words know and will. I know, I will. That also is absolute. It says, I know it. It's a fact. I will. Yes. You're saying, yes, I will. I'm going to do it. You know, and in fact, getting rid of that word gonna do it by saying I will do it, it says you're absolutely sure that you know that you're giving it your best. Whereas I'm going to do it, or I should do it, or I might, or I'll try. That's a good one. I'm trying. No, to quote one of my favorite movie characters from Star Wars, Yoda, there is no try, only do. Do or do not. There is no try. What trying says is you are thinking about making up your mind to get ready to put some effort to it. Or you're trying, but if you're trying, if you're getting ready to do something, you're not doing it. But when you do, I will, I am doing, that means you're not just trying, you're putting forth your best effort to do it, to make it so. And there is a huge difference in that energy. So instead of I'm trying, no, stop trying, do something about it. Even if it's not perfect, even if you don't reach your goal, you have taken action. Keywords, taken action. And one of my mentors, she always says, even imperfect action can lead to perfect results. So we want to get you to taking action. So no more trying, there's only do. Then there's the words using the word situation or project as opposed to challenge or problem. Now, I kind of have an exception with this in that I've had some mentors tell me don't use the word challenge because that says something that's hard. But I kind of question that because challenges are also something that make you strive and stretch yourself. Okay, they make you go for more than you think you could handle. They make you look forward to becoming more than you think you could ever be. So challenges are not always negative. I kind of feel like when we look at difficult things in our lives, look at them as challenging instead of hard and I can't do it and overwhelming and all that negative stuff. When we look at it as a challenge, it gives us the hope, the possibility that we can overcome it and grow from it and work through it. So I kind of say challenge, yeah, it depends on what it means to you. But you absolutely want to get rid of the word problem. I got a struggle. I got a problem. Even the word issue can be a little bit too negative, too challenging, too difficult for you to resolve. Okay, and you don't want to use the word difficulty in the place of the word problem either, because that infers something that's hard. And you know how we are as humans. When it's hard, we'll stop. Oh, it's too hard. I can't do it. And even here in DS Domination, I've heard a lot of people say, it's too hard to find listings. It's too hard to do this. And what that means is I don't want to try anymore. I don't want to put forth the effort. I don't want to do it because it's taking too long. It's not happening instantly. And part of the problems we have here in America, in the way we're programmed, is we are always looking for instant gratification. And I'm guilty. I'm one of them, which is the reason why I know we should shift that energy by exchanging those words out. So think of a situation of a project. When you've got a challenge or something you have to overcome or deal with, it's a situation. It's a project. In other words, something that will come to an end that's resolvable, that you can handle. And then there are the words different or uncomfortable instead of the words hard or bad. We want to get out of that habit of saying something's bad or it's hard, because that automatically tells us pain is involved, suffering, or that it's impossible to do. And we are possibility thinkers. But if you say something's different, or something's uncomfortable, well, if you're uncomfortable, you can find comfort. From that place of discomfort, you will seek relief. Okay, so when something is uncomfortable, you will get up and do something about it in order to have relief. All right, so think of the words different. This is different, not this is bad or this is hard. This is different. Different says, maybe I'll take a look and examine what's different about it and what can be done to change it to something better. All right, so think about those words and use them. Start to be mindful. Now that I've told you about them, you will be a little more aware of when you fall back into those old habits. And so what you need to do is just immediately stop yourself when you use some of the forbidden words. Stop yourself and say, I didn't mean that, or I neutralize that, or cancel it. It's very important that you do that too, because whenever you speak this energy into the universe, without negating it, canceling it, neutralizing it, those words go out there, that energy goes out, and without you doing something with it, it really can still have some effect. Now, rather than go into the philosophy behind all that, just know it was something, canceling that energy, neutralizing it, something my first mentor, Dr. Masters, taught me back in the 70s. And I never realized how powerful my words were until I started using those words of neutralizing or canceling those thoughts, those words, those actions, behaviors. It's like apologizing to the universe in a way, but what it does is it undoes the energy of the spell you just spoke into the law of attraction. Now, that's a brief review of the word list, and I wanted to go over that again because sometimes people don't understand the power behind the words and these exchanges and why you should use the ones on the left of the dash mark versus the ones on the right. But now that I've given you a little background on it, see if you can be more mindful about how you swap these words out and how it affects the outcome and the experiences you're having. So now this week we said we were going to focus on self-confidence, and I really want to do that because your belief in yourself and your abilities is what your self-confidence is. Our purpose here is to build on the practices I've given you and the ones you've been doing by bringing your attention to the foundation beneath everything you aspire to do, your belief in yourself. It doesn't matter how much you affirm, visualize, tap on your desires and goals or anything. If you don't believe in your ability to take action, you'll never do anything. And by taking action, it's the only thing that will help you achieve your goals. And if you don't take action, all the ideas and thinking and praying and blessing in the world will never get you towards success. You will always be thinking instead of doing. But don't worry, building your self-confidence is a process just like anything else. It can be done. There are things you can do to start the process, which is what we're going to do today. But the real confidence builders will come from the successes you have as you move forward, as you continue to practice, see things happening and experience the shifts. That's what will build your confidence. Now, everybody's had some kind of success. I don't care how small it is. You've already had some success. But if you're like me, some of the major successes were a long time ago, and it can really undo your self-confidence when it's been a while since you really had a major accomplishment. But you have had them. So remember, in your past, you had some successes, and some of them were big ones. That's the evidence you want to rely on to remind you that you can do it and that and help you believe that you can do it again. So now it's time to take things to the next level and consciously build and strengthen your belief in yourself. It's very important that you take the next activities very seriously. Make a commitment to do all the practices daily and do them at least 6 days a week if you can. Some of you will see significant improvements right away, and others it may take a little more time. Depends on how deeply rooted you are in the scarcity and lack, limitation, and unpleasantness you've been going through. So be patient with the process, and most importantly, be patient with yourself. The speed of your progress will depend on where you are on your path and how much you're able to allow yourself to grow so that the changes can happen. But all of you will see some progress and you'll feel something happening, and on several different levels. Sometimes it'll happen on one or two levels, and then other times it may happen on several levels, sometimes all at once, okay? So from this point forward, when you do your energy work, that's your EFT and your visualizations and your affirmations, I want you to sit upright in a chair with your spine as straight as it's comfortable for you. Put your feet flat on the floor, and if you can do it barefoot, that's even better. But if not, at least have on flat shoes. I mean, if you got on a pair of heels and you're doing this at work, no problem. I mean, if you can take your shoes off and do it, that's great. But if you can't, just get as close to putting your feet flat on the floor to get as connected with the earth as possible. The whole point is to get your spine straight so the energy flows through you, and to get the bottoms of your feet flat on the earth. This helps with the grounding process, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. We're going to be working with your body energy, and our goal is to connect your heart and your solar plexus energy. Solar plexus is the energy center, your chakra that's right beneath your heart in the pit of your stomach, and your heart chakra, which is your creative center right above it, is your emotional center. We want them straight and in alignment, so as the energy from above you, from the universe, flows through your head, through your body, down through your tailbone, and if you're standing, through your legs and your feet, but even so, it goes straight down into the earth. And if your feet are flat on the floor, it keeps your root chakra and your foot chakra connected to the earth. Now, I'll speak a minute about chakras. Most everybody knows what they are. There are energy centers. But there's one chakra that is ignored more often than not, and that's your foot chakra. A lot of people don't even know you got one, but that's the energy that keeps you stuck to the planet. It's where you connect with the earth. That's that energy that is, I guess it's where you could say, it's where gravity is. It's what keeps, that's why you can lift 1 foot at a time, or you can jump, but it always pulls you back down. That foot chakra is the energy center between you and the earth. It's the connection, okay? And we are constantly exchanging energy with the earth because we are of the earth. We eat the food that comes from the earth. We breathe the air, drink the water. That is the earth. We are nothing more than earth in a different form. And we can't be on this planet for very long without the air, water, and food that are the earth essentials. So it's important to recognize that our energy in our bodies, there's no separation between us and the earth. That's also how we are connected with each other. Not only are we connected in the one mind, that is the God mind, but we are connected with each other because we all breathe the same air, drink the same water, and eat the same food that comes from Mother Earth. So if you've ever questioned why or how we're all connected, why we say we're all one, think about it. You sit down and eat the same food, drink the same water, eat and breathe the same air as the person next to you, and your body's made of the air, food, and water around you. What else are you? And even in your spiritual nature, you come from the same universal energy of God, and that's the other way we're all connected. So don't ever think that you're separate from anything or anyone, because it's an illusion. You are not. Now, as we're working with this energy of the earth and we want to connect with it properly, we know that everything is energy, and creating is the act of bringing the energy of our thoughts and desires into form, into being. We are all spiritual beings having a physical experience. But what happens is, in our physical experiencing, we get out of balance. We disconnect, we get out of alignment, things go, sideways, because of our emotional traumas and dramas. And when this happens, our energy, this is how we experience and create energy blocks or energy reversals, or things get way out of whack, which is what we experience as lack, limitation, scarcity, loneliness, anger, resentment, depression, all of that. That's a clear indication that something about your body's energy center is out of whack. We also create disease the same way. And an out of balance energy condition left untreated or dealt with long enough creates dis-ease. Dis-ease. Your body is no longer at ease. It's out of balance, and it's creating manifestations of that knotted up, bound up energy. And when we get healing, it's the dissolution of that energy, the redirection of energy that's going in opposition to its normal flow. So for most of us who have gotten into negative experiences, especially when it comes to depression and despair and can't create and we're stuck and things are going sideways, it's basically because energetically we are disconnected. Now, some of us have gotten disconnected. There's two ways you can be disconnected. You can be disconnected in the upper part of your body, which is your heart chakra and above, which means that you are having trouble creating because you're not connected to the earth. And everything that's created in the material world is of earth energy. So you have to be able to create and use earth energy. The other way is that we're so materialistic and earth-based. We've disconnected from our creative energy of our spirit, where we are so materialistic and so grounded in making stuff happen that we don't feel, and our emotions are disconnected. Either out of balance condition and we're off base. We're off center, off the grid. When we get back in flow is when we connect the upper part of our bodies with the lower part of our bodies, and therefore the energy flows the way it should be. Creation becomes joyful and easy, and things start to work the way they're supposed to. So let's talk about a little bit about this disconnection. One of the things that happens when you get so deep into spiritual study, sometimes we get so cerebral, so spiritual and etheric, that we forget about our egos and our bodies and the fact that that's all part of us, and we must recognize and be in connection with all of that. We become too cerebral and spiritual so that everything in our emotions or everything are all up here. Everything's floating around up above in our minds, and we are doing all this energy work, affirming and praying and blessing and thinking and desiring, and nothing comes through. Nothing's coming into form, and it's because we are disconnected. And until you get connected with the earth energy, nothing can happen. This is why the term grounding is so important. Okay. The other side is those who are too physical, and the way to recognize them is we try to change our lives by changing the things in our lives, the circumstances, the people, the stuff. We are working with earth energy, and if you anytime you try to change one form into another form, no, it doesn't work. We try to do it, and we want money and we want to buy stuff and we want that to make us happy. It doesn't work because it's material stuff, and it's not the stuff that makes us happy. It's our satisfaction with ourselves and our love of ourselves that really brings the joy. That's why some people who have very little are very joyful and happy. There's certain cultures and religions and what have you who don't understand the capitalistic societies, because we do a lot of focusing on stuff, but they're happy and joyful because they are balanced in a different way. We even have people here in our own country who don't require a lot of stuff to be happy, and we have people who have a lot of stuff and all the wealth in the world, and they're miserable, they're fighting, they're crazy, they're on drugs and taking alcohol. So having a lot of stuff and having a lot of wealth is no guarantee of satisfaction, fulfillment, and happiness. It's just you got a lot of stuff, but then you got a lot of stress and a lot of other junk going on with it. And this is, evident with people who accumulate a lot of stuff and never find joy and happiness. Even, wealthy people are suicidal. So, when you look at trying to create, you have to bring things back into balance to make sure that you are aware that this is what it takes to create effectively. So another analogy is like saying this. I always say when we're disconnected, especially on the physical plane, it's like driving a car backwards. You can do it, but it's really hard, takes a lot of work, a lot of practice, and you tend to run into things. It's just the hardest way to go, but you'll still get where you want to go, okay? So which one are you? Are you the cerebral, disconnected person where everything's in your head and your emotions, or are you the grounded, disconnected, physically focused person where nothing goes right because you don't know how to think and use your creative energies to make things easier, okay? So let's just start working on getting our energy back in balance. And one of the ways we want to do that, and way you can tell when you're in balance, is watching your physical body. What does it manifest? What does it show to indicate that something's out of balance? Very often people who are disconnected or out of balance show symptoms like depression and despair because the emotions don't have a way to ground the negative energy. The earth is our recycle bin. If you're firmly fully grounded and connected to the earth, when you release negativity, fear, anger, resentment, whatever, and you release that energy into the earth, it recycles it, and it comes out as, love and clean air, just like anything else. The earth recycles water, air, and everything, cleans it up, and gives it back to us in a form that's pure and healthy. One of the indications that you're out of balance, not from illness and headaches and sleeplessness and stress, is you may have inner ear problems where you suffer with dizziness, or what they call was it BPV? I think it's called. I can't remember what the term is. You can look it up. But what it is when it's an indication of the inner ear, where the water leaks out of your ear into your I can't think of right now. I can't think of what it is. But a lot of women have it, and it causes your head to spin. It's what makes you dizzy. Okay, and I've had it before when I was under so much stress, and I know what it is, and it can happen like that. Kind of get this little thing in your ear, and all of a sudden you're spinning like somebody is swirling your brain around, and to the point where you can't stand up. You'll wonder, like, did I have a stroke, or am I dying? Whatever it is. I think a lot of older women have it, which is why they fall, because it tends to happen to women more than men. But look up the term BPV, and it's not bipolar vertigo, but it's something. Vertigo, and what it is, it's this the fluid that gets loose in your ear, and it takes a while to go away, but there are some techniques now and you can treat it. But anyway, the main thing is dizziness, inner ear problems, back and joint pain. All of these are issues of feeling unsupported and ungrounded. Achy feet, painful joint problems. This is all the indications of feeling unsupported and ungrounded. If you're physically focused, you may find that you're having problems like being impatient, irritable, short-tempered, angry, heartless, materialistic, and cold. Your emotions are dead. All of those are indications that you're too physically grounded and you're not connected to your heart chakra. So now sometimes, even people who are too physically grounded, they can accomplish goals and they can make things happen, but it doesn't mean they're happy. More often than not, they do all this stuff and they're still, never enough, never quite enough, always looking for the next thrill or accomplishment or achievement or taking something from somewhere else. That temporary temporary rush they get, the adrenaline rush from it, is a temporary fix, and once that's gone, they're right back where they started. Okay, so we'll just just know that those are indications that something's out of balance, and if you're experiencing anything like that or know anyone who is, the chances are they've disconnected. Their heart chakra and the chakras above it are disconnected from the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra, and the foot chakra. So they're like, they're two people, they're a person who's split. So our goal this week is to start working on that self-confidence, and part of that is reuniting your energy so that it flows properly, so you're feeling good from your head to your toes and down into the earth. And this tapping we're going to do is kind of going to help do that. But more than anything, as you sit with your back straight and your feet on the ground, you can just literally think and feel energy flowing from above your head, from like the center of the universe, center of the galaxy, running a golden white light down through your body, down into the earth, through your feet, through your tailbone, down into the earth, to the heart of the earth, where Mother Earth's heart is. And when you see lava spouting out of a volcano and it's pulsing out, that's the heartbeat of the planet. And that's what we want to be connected with, the heart of the planet. Her energy is constantly rotating and vibrating through the planet. And if you're sensitive enough, you can hear it, you can feel it. But mainly, we can visualize ourselves connecting with it, and that helps to root us in the earth and channel all that energy and get us back in balance. So, in order to create your visions and to create properly, to use the laws the way they were intended, it's necessary for us to make this connection. When we make this connection, we get grounded and are comfortable in our own skin, and indeed on the planet. Our confidence starts to rise because we feel supported, we feel connected, we feel empowered. And all of that is what self-confidence is built on and comes from. So I went through all of that to explain that even though, we believe self-confidence comes from somewhere out there, no, the truth is self-confidence comes from within you. You can be confident and never have a major accomplishment in your life, but when you feel good about yourself, you're comfortable, you feel safe and supported, you feel confident, and that way you can do whatever you want from that point in time. So what we're going to do is do a little tapping and get that energy flowing and get that confidence energy, reactivated. And from this place of feeling better, knowing you can do it, and having your energy get back in balance, you're going to learn how to become that master creator that you want to be, which is the whole point of this 6-week series. So now I mentioned a little bit earlier about a journal, and I want you to make sure that whether you do it on your computer, a tablet, or you get a special little book or just a piece of paper, I want you to start journaling. You want to keep the journal by your bed so that when you wake up in the morning, any remnants of a dream that you had or your first thoughts and emotions when you wake up, you want to write them down. When you go to bed at night, thoughts that you've had of the day, it helps to dump your energy, and this also helps you sleep better because you'll get things out of your body that are worrying you, plans for tomorrow, ideas, frustrations, all of this stuff you want to write down to get it out. It helps to keep it from swirling around in your head and in your body, because when you're worried about something or you're trying to remember to do something in the morning, all that stuff keeps you awake at night. But more than anything, this is a way to track your progress. When you journal every day, you review it about once a week, and by doing that, when you go back and read your words, you'll find insights, aha moments, messages that like, where did that come from? I don't remember writing that. It's messages from the universe that come through in your writings, and journaling and writing down your feelings, thoughts, and emotions will do that for you. So the main thing, though, is what you'll be able to do is several weeks down the road, if you hit a wall or you're feeling like nothing's happening, you can go back and review what you've written from the point you started up until that point, and you will see there have been shifts, that you're different, your feelings are different. And you may even look at what you wrote 3 weeks ago and say, wow, was that me? Was I really in that bad a shape? Yeah, well, that just goes to show you how much progress you've made, and that's the whole point of keeping the journal. So like I said, do your writings, every day, even through the day if you can, and review them once a week. It's important to help you stay on track and to measure your progress. So now let's get right down to the gist of it. And get busy with, let's do some tapping. I think we've done enough talking. I'd like to get into the tapping. There are a couple of other things I will cover that I was going to cover today, but I'll actually get into it next week, which might even be a better time, because one of them is connected to abundance, and I really would like to talk about that at a time when there's another little activity we're going to do towards the end of the month. Working with the law of abundance. But right now, let's just go ahead and do some tapping so we can finish out this week in a way that gets you ready for the next phase, okay? So sit up in your chairs or wherever you are, lying down, doesn't really matter, but just, get grounded, and let's work on getting the energy flowing for today. Now, we're going to work on self-confidence, but the routine is the same. We're going to do tapping. We're going to do our setup statements by tapping on our karate chop, the fatty part of your hand, and then we're going to go through the, the side of the eye, or the under the eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the nose, the chin, the collarbone with the flat of your hand, and the top of your head. And this week's are a little different. The statements are slightly different, but they're still very effective. So just read along or go along with me, repeat after me. I put the routine in the link section on our Facebook group, but for now, just follow the bouncing ball. Okay. And one more thing. Remember, as we go through the tapping for the rest of this evening and tomorrow, make sure you drink plenty of water. I don't know about you, but when we got through tapping last week, I got up and was walking around, and I was feeling that little swirly feeling, which I know is energy shifting big time. And you can counter that by getting a glass of water and drinking it. What's happening is, as the energy shifts, it creates energy ash. We literally burn the energy like when you get a massage. And when that ash hits your system, it goes into your bloodstream, and it's a little toxic. So you want to drink water. And if you notice a sensitivity, don't drink any alcohol for 24 hours. Some people it doesn't bother, others it will. So just drink water, flush your system, and get some rest. That's the most important thing for getting the toxicity out of your system. Okay, so here we go. Start with the karate chop and repeat after me. Even though sometimes I don't have as much confidence in myself as I should, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And even though sometimes I feel like I'm not good enough, like I don't know enough, or I haven't accomplished enough to maybe help someone else or even myself, I deeply love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. And even though other people have told me hurtful things, they've called me a failure, said I wasn't trying hard enough, or that I wasn't qualified, it was just their opinion. And it doesn't really matter, because the only opinion about me that matters is my own. So I forgive and release the hurts associated with what they said. And even though they said these things, they didn't realize how much it hurt me. And now that I realize that, I can just let it go, because I really do know better. And as I let it all go, I forgive myself for carrying those hurts all this time. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself now. All right, let's tap on these points, okay? Remember, starting with the eyebrow point, we want to start with, I know I am capable. A side of the eye. I know I'm smart. And that should be the side of the eye right here where that bone comes, the bone of your eye comes together. My glasses are kind of in my way, but make sure you get right on that bone at the corner of your eye, okay? Under the eye. I've already achieved a lot in my life. Under the nose. I trust myself implicitly. On the chin. I respect my own opinions. Collarbone. I'm always calm and confident. Top of the head. I can do anything I set my mind to. Eyebrow point. I totally trust my inner voice. Side of the eye. I get more and more confident every day. Under the eye. I am totally comfortable in everything that I do. Under the nose. I love meeting and conversing with others. On the chin. I am full of confidence all the time. And on your collarbone. I am calm and assertive in all that I do. Top of the head. I believe in myself totally. Eyebrow point. I love my life, and my life loves me. Side of the eye. I love when I feel challenged. Under the eye. Challenges help me to be creative. Under the nose. And I love being me. On the chin. I love feeling free to be me. Collarbone. I love being free to be me. Top of the head. I love the way that I feel when I'm being creative. Eyebrow point. I believe in myself totally. Side of the eye. I am totally comfortable with myself and with others. Under the eye. I am calm and assertive in all that I do. Under the nose. I am full of confidence all of the time. On the chin. I love meeting and conversing with others. Collarbone. I'm totally comfortable in everything that I do. Top of the head. I totally trust my inner voice. Eyebrow point. And I can do anything I set my mind to. Side of the eye. I trust in myself and my abilities. Under the eye. I'm always calm and confident. Under the nose. I respect my own opinions. On your chin. I trust myself implicitly. On your collarbone. I feel excited when I'm faced with new challenges. Top of the head. I trust myself and know that I'll succeed. Eyebrow. I release all of my feelings of being small. Side of the eye. I choose to feel really big. Under the eye. I'm confident that I'll achieve my goals. And under the nose. And I release any anxiety about it. On the chin. I'm confident in what I want for myself. Your collarbone. And I'm confident that the right people will support me. Top of the head. I'm feeling strong and confident. Eyebrow. I trust in myself and my abilities. Side of the eye. I'm totally comfortable with myself and others. Under the eye. I love being creative. Under the nose. I get more and more confident with every passing day. On the chin. I know I can handle any challenge by just being creative. Collarbone. I'm feeling strong and confident. Top of the head. I am powerful and I believe in myself. Now we're going to do something slightly different. So I want you to put your hands in your lap and take a deep breath. In as deep as you can and exhale. In one more time. And exhale. Inhale one more time. And exhale. That's to get some of that tension and energy going and flowing as we move into the second phase, which is now putting in some positive questions. You know how you say to yourself, why am I so excited? Why am I so happy? It gives you the sense of anticipation and expectation. So we're going to do some of that positive questioning that does that energizing and motivating stuff. Okay, so starting with the eyebrow point, let's do the questions and get them installed in our brains. All right, eyebrow point. Why do I feel so beautiful and loved? Side of the eye. Why do I feel so aware and alive? Under the eye. Why do I feel so calm and confident? Under the nose. Why do I feel so positive and powerful? On your chin. Why do I feel so excited and creative? Collarbone. I am powerful and I believe in myself. Top of the head. Make it so. Eyebrow point. Why do I feel so happy and talkative? Side of the eye. Why do I feel so proud to be me? Under the eye. Why do I feel so strong and assertive? Under your nose. Why do I feel so happy and free? On your chin. Why do I feel so energetic and ready for success? On your collarbone. I am powerful and I love myself. Top of the head. So be it. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit more breathing. 3 breaths in, starting now. Inhale and exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. One more time. Inhale through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel the energy flowing and say to yourself, thank you, Creator, Divine Spirit, and Mother Earth, for all of this and something even better. And so it is. And I don't know about you, but I'm really feeling the energy going. So this must have been one of those really great sessions. And it's a good one. So take the time to go through this again. 6 days if you can. As many times as possible, and if nothing else, if you can't go through the whole video again, at least do the tapping as often as you possibly can. It's the point of getting the energy flowing and getting it out so we can recycle it in the earth. That's the real issue here. So I want to thank you for joining me this evening. I'm really excited that we're doing this. I'm looking forward to next week. And for now, it's just, say good night. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Take this energy into the evening, into the night, and into the next few days. Enjoy yourself, and I will see you on the Facebook page. Thank you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.